What up, my freaks? RuinousInsight here with part 47 of my Total Warhammer 3 Zhatan the Black Immortal Empires campaign. So as we saw last time, we have defended successfully Shattered Stone Bay, allowing us to maintain our territories and pretty much finish off the Poxmakers of Nurgle. Yes, Dragonfang Mount does remain, but with no more full stack to defend it, it should fall to an auto-resolve, and Kugath remains, but he is the last army on the field, and with no territories, he will be unable to replenish. So it's looking pretty good. We've also got our reinforcements arriving, so Drajuath should receive most of his units, or at least a decent amount of his units, while the rest are coming via troop train. And then, of course, we also have finally reached UNGRIM, wherein we will be attacking the Silver Pinnacle shortly as well. Everything's coming up bully. Anyway, in terms of what we got to start off with, let's see who can still move around right now. Okay, so it's not going to be troop train. Yobaz, I think what we'll do with you, let's put a few points into ambush, into cunning. And then Foe Seeker for you as well. Casual turn, yeah, that's fine. I want the extra cunning because we're gonna pop you into ambush stance right here in front of Kugath at 80%, which is pretty good. And then we're gonna put Mr. Ulrich right behind you, and then hope that Kugath decides to go for him, in which case Yobaz should be able to destroy him. We should also get Gordas his points. It's only 3, mind you, but well, Gordas will finally have access to Slippery, which is nice. And I guess we'll keep going through Gutter Fighter and then the other buffs for him. He'll soon be maxed out. Next up, we have Ukani here, but he's going to be replaced in the next couple of turns, probably. Actually, no, probably about it, mostly because his level is too low compared to the levels that we can make, so we just can put into points whatever, and it'll change in a couple turns anyway. Let's get him careful crossing, or casting, I guess. Or we could buff up Burning Head. What does Kugath have in his army, incidentally? He does have a decent amount of Nurglings, but what's the likelihood that we actually get a chance to line up the Burning Head? Well, I suppose if the ambush succeeds, there actually may be a decent chance to do it. So let's go Burning Head then. And we'll see if it works out for us. Alrighty. Well, that's Yobaz's setup, and next up we have you guys. So, what we wanted to do is, let's see, get Draj about here. I gotta transfer the units. I'm gonna see if I can properly remember what units are supposed to go to him. So, you, Tordrick, are gonna transfer. Alright, so you want to transfer all the Infernal Guard. You want to transfer... Oh, we got some named ones in here. Seared Beards, Infernal Hat Guard. You want to transfer Fluffy, for obvious reasons. Then we want to transfer 5 Kadai Fireborn and 2 Magma Cannons. We will take the Infernal Iron Sworn. The Sorcerer will be replaced later. We will take the, I guess, Hobgoblins. We will take the... Well, the range units are also going to be replaced into other armies. So 1, 2, 3, 4, I guess we'll just take most of this. We still have a few units remaining. Let's see if I got this right. So now, Draj, you are missing 2. You're missing 2 destroyers. So we got that, and then 1 Infernal Guard, which will give you 1 room, which will mean 2 sorcerers. Yeah, that's it. All right. I more or less figured that one out. Lovely. Okay, now, Tordrick Drekkiller, what do you have in your army? Okay, so these guys all need to basically transfer all their units that are garbage to the Overseer. And the Overseer can take those, and then follow Draj around, basically. I mean, I guess we could also take Draj's other extra units, but we could also do that later. You need to get rid of 1 Chaos Dwarf Blunderbuss, a Lamasu, and a Death Shrieker, and a Chaos Dwarf. Do we have enough room in this army for that? 1, 2... Oh, wow. 1, 2, 3. We do not. So we have to transfer some to the other guy. Ah, damn. I was hoping that would not be the case, but you also have a bunch of stuff. Let me just see here. Can you maybe transfer some stuff? Alright, maybe we'll do this. Overseer. You can transfer here. In fact, wait, you are gonna move out here. Sorry if this is gonna be confusing a little bit, but these armies need to just swap around so that it doesn't have to be dealt with later on. Alright, Overseer. You are going to get rid of the Chaos Dwarf Blunderbusses, the Lamasu, the Death Shrieker, and the Chaos Dwarf Warriors, which means you need 2 more units. You can take... Oh. I was hoping to give you the 6th Hobgobbo Wolf Raider. Alright, fine. Take one of these. Wait, 22. Oh, alright, fine. Take one of these, or 2 of these, and then one of the laborers, like so. This means that you are only... Wait, did I screw that up a little bit? Delete you. Wait. So I want to transfer the Hobgoblin... Yeah, no, okay, I didn't screw that up, I'm fine. Alright, do this, and then take you, you, and you. Perfect. There we go. Massive pile of Hobgoblin Sneaky Gits and Hobgoblin Wolf Raiders, both of which, or all of which, will follow Draj around as his little follower army. You can also get Brutal Disciplinarian, and you have exactly 2 points for that. Perfect. Brutal Disciplinarian and Harsh Master. Alright, lovely. Oh, you have Craven by name, great for you, but you're still going to be an Overseer that follows. Now the rest of you, Tordric Dracula and Syndras, one of you needs to transfer all of the extra units, the decent units, to the other. Is either one of you a proper lord? You're both a little bit low. Tordric is... he does have Hide Striker though, so we should probably keep him around. Though obviously not with this army. Hey, he doesn't have enough room. Okay, I guess we'll have to travel both of these away. Alright, that's fine. We'll travel both of these, and we're going to swap some of these units out with another lord to make 2 proper armies. And I guess Tordric will indeed keep some Fireborn. We originally built him out to be a Fireborn user, and we're gonna pop that Voice of Hashut in there, so we can combine the Fireborn perhaps with some Tauruses or some... other things. We'll think about that as we go. Anyway, that now I am reasonably happy with. Let's continue. Tech, we are getting the Convoy Cartographers next turn to get the next convoy. Lovely. Alright, what else do we have here? Unthrenbaj, Unzaled. Okay, you are going to besiege the Silver Pinnacle, and we will probably attack it shortly if we can't find another battle for us. Close defeat. And that's him by himself, incidentally. That is without, Gorth the Cruel, who is also going to come up here. Oh, he has to go in March stance by the looks of it. Yeah, we'll have to go in March stance, but it's okay. Really, we only will need the artillery here. I imagine that Thrunbaj's force can actually take care of most of this. We will also probably have to get the regular Chaos Dwarf Warriors out of this army. The problem with Chaos Dwarf Warriors is that they're too weak unless they're used by an Overseer. So we will need Infernal Guard here instead. Overseers have the buff that makes them stronger, the armor buff. 20 armor for the Chaos Dwarf Warriors is pretty significant, as otherwise they're a little bit light on it. And same with the blunderbusses as well. 85, yeah, they really need the extra armor, so we'll get an Overseer to command you. Oh, speaking of Overseers, can you use goblins here? No. Although, can you go global recruitment? You can. You can indeed. Alright, so go here. And I want you to globally recruit some stuff. I guess we're not going to delete the Hobgoblin Archers, but we don't need the Laborers here. And you do, just in case, have the Brutal Disciplinarian, yes. And you even have some buffs for them, which is swell. Let's get rid of one of these guys. So then at least we can have 4 Hobgoblin Sneaky Gits. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And then this Overseer will follow Thrunbaj around as they move deeper into the mountains, whereas Gorth the Cruel will go back and replace some of his army with another army as well. Also, I'm actually now reasonably sure that the buff here on Ethical doesn't actually work. We should be having minus 30% in upkeep reduction on the Infernal Guard, right? Infernal Guard with Fire Glaives. Huh, 313%. 235. Well, maybe it does work. But a few other lords with fire glaives right now. Wait, let's just out of curiosity. You should have fire. No, you should have fire glaives right now. How much do they cost you? 235. How can they cost you 235? You have no upkeep reductions for them at all, whatsoever. I don't understand. And it says Lord's Army, so it's not faction-wide. It would be ridiculous if it was faction-wide. So they really shouldn't be the exact same price. Well, something's wrong with that. Or something's wrong with something, but isn't there always something wrong with something? Anyway, let's keep looking through our units and stuff, and then if we can't find what we want to find, we will do our battle. Delete is here, which means you can move to transferring all of this stuff over to Mr. Astrogoth. You, Centaurs, go out there as well. Bruzuks, out there, and Lasbalk, you go out there as well, and we're missing one. We have no capacity for them. It's okay, though. We'll be deleting a couple of the garbage ones that are low level shortly as well. Oh, hello. I wonder if this guy's going to try to retake Kislev. He might try to attack Delete here and draw out these guys. He can't win that. Maybe with Serena Katrin together. But certainly not by himself, so I'm not concerned. Alrighty, sorry if I go weirdly silent for a little bit. I have the hiccups right now, but I've started the video and it's too late to stop. Alrighty, everybody keep going. Troop, train, the show must go on. Raiders and Nas, you have arrived. So, let's get you down the coastline. I'm actually going to not do this in March Stance because we might get immediately attacked by the Cult of Sotek. Bale Taurus for somebody, Lamas for somebody. Ooh, is that a mysterious island? Yes, indeed. Oh, for Karth. Huh, I thought that the Cult of Sotek would be here. How are you doing? You are currently at war with the Hunts Marshal's expedition in Itza. Are you telling me that you have destroyed the Cult of Sotek? Huh, interesting. And massive Skaven corruption at the Citadel of Dusk. Huh. They may have won here. I mean, Itza's alive, but it looks like Rakarth and... Oh, man. I was gonna raid these guys, but that might not work. We may actually have to travel up the coast. Okay. Alright, what if we join war against Itza? 2.4 only. Oh, my. That's not nearly as good as I thought it would be. What about the Hunts Marshal? 5.8. We'd have to give you 13k to go the non-aggression pact. I'd like to make friends with at least one of the Dark Elves. There's really no reason to attack them here, especially because we're not really interested in Lustrian territory. It's too far away from us, and our endgame scenario is in the mountains, so let's just try this. Yeah. I'd probably be raiding these factions anyway. Let's do that, and then we'll hopefully get a positive enough relationship with these guys to be friendly. And oh, look at that, even Nagarons like us. Yeah, if we can get a few more of those lords that raise our relationship with everybody, that would be just fantastic. What do we have here? Recruitment cost reduction for Infernal Guard. We already have one of those on Zork the Recruiter, but I guess we could get another one elsewhere. But yeah, this is still something of a problem. We need to either go through Rakarth's territory, which we can't do right now because we don't have military access, but that means we need to, by the looks of it, go here instead then. Alrighty, that's a change of plans for the other raiders then. You need to go to the blue area instead of the others. Alright, Raider Magmas, you're heading back up this way then. And I guess you're gonna move together with Sundrins then. You, or one of you, doesn't really matter which one, and go down to join the other guy, and then you can join this army. Is this too few melee units? Maybe, maybe not, hard to say. If it is, well then it is. Alrighty, and did I do your points? I did not, but maybe we'll do points before fighting. I just don't feel like it right now. Alrighty, let's keep going and see what else we can move. We're not going to do the buildings and stuff, we're going to fight, so let's just do this in the meantime. Alrighty, are you able to leave Helpit? It doesn't look like Serena Katrin can move towards it, so I think we're going to move you here. And then, delete, you can transfer the units and then be deleted. Wait, actually, out of curiosity, what would we... we need to transfer some of these units. Which we can't do unless Kigal does. It's kind of annoying. What level are... Oh, okay, we'll keep these guys until they're replaced by better ones, and we don't need you at all, once again. Kind of the same situation. Alright, fine. Delete. Go here. Transfer the Centaur and the Bull. Render, and then take, I guess, a couple of Chaos Dwarf Warriors. Or actually, you know what? You have enough of a male. You don't have enough of a... yeah, let's do that. Once again, ultimately it won't matter that much. Now, what we need here for Ostrogoth's army is at least one more regular Great Taurus, just because we can. And yeah, we could go all Bull, or we could go all Bale Taurus, but no. And then just a massive pile of Bull Centaurs, in which we are going to get through various means, including you and via recruitment. Oh, we need at least one more of these as well. The dual-handed, the dual-weapon ones. Huh. Swear I had more, but apparently not. Alrighty, well, let's keep going then. Let's keep going. That was Ostrogoth and Raider Magmas. Where's the next elite man? You're going up here. Kigal, you are staying where you are for now. Troop train, you are going to be recruiting shortly once the recruiter leaves, but not right now. Tech thief, and you're gonna steal some tech. Actually, you know what? I think rather than stealing tech now, let's do the fight, and then we'll steal some tech. We got a pretty major siege here, so let's do this, shall we? We could also level up these guys. Oh. I guess we should then. Now, since this army is not going to have much in the way of... Oh man, that's a problem. Wait, let me think about this. So, you are in... long range, eh? Just wondering whether we keep all of these guys in long range or not. Or maybe some in short range, but we will have a massive line of fire glaives here. I'm not sure. I'm just not sure. You're gonna hold on to these points for another turn. Too bad we can't just level you up somehow. Alrighty, fine. We're gonna do this. Wait, no. I lied. This, and we'll go for long range for now. We can always reset them to go for short range if I don't like how it's working out. But I feel like they should be using extra powder to buff up our lines. So for now, long range. A survivalist. Let's get you 1 point in mentor, so you can help out the low level guy. Piercing shots for you. 1 point in bandolier. Definitely extra powder. Gun sight. And always ready, then restock. We actually have plenty of points remaining, which means hard to hit. Blade Master. Bandolier, definitely missile resistance. So then we can do... I guess Scarred Veteran is the only decent thing left. And wow, there really isn't much to build. I don't particularly like Invile or Indomitable. Let's do that then. Alrighty, what about the rest of you? Did we get your points? Now, since we're about to fight, we're going to do so. So, scouting and all-terrain vehicle, reforge, burning wrath. We will go for mentor. Then let's do spells. Definitely burning wrath maxed out because it's a decent spell. Ash storm. I don't like Curse of Hashut. Evasion. We will go for Flames of Asgore, Magical Reserves, and Earthing. Arcane Conduit, Hellhammer maxed out as well, and we still have 11 points. Oh my. Does Gorth the Cruel currently have either one of these? He does not. He has Needful, eh? Well, once again, it depends on what exactly is going to be in his army as to how we deal with the rest of that. Oh, Gorth also has levels. I just realized. Let's get you Flamestorm, let's get you Piercing Bolts, because those are both fantastic spells. Back to you, friendo. What do you have? You have Manipulative. Enemy Leadership Reduction. And doesn't really help with the miscast chance. But we also don't know what kind of army it's going to be. Winds of Magic cost reduction and cooldown. It's not bad. It's not a big deal though, but either way, I want Foe Seekers, so piercing shots for you and 1 point in always ready, and then Foe Seeker, and we do indeed still have enough points for... let's go 3 into Dark Subjugation. I'm gonna think on one of these. Or at least I'm gonna assign those points afterwards. Now we're ready to go. And wait, just one thing, continue. Are you able to? No, you're not able to switch stances. Too bad, too bad. Alrighty, so UNGRIM Iron Fist with a damn decent high tier army and a little bit of a garrison as well. Let's see how he fares. Alrighty, no speech apparently, but that's okay. As usual, we'll let our axes do the talking. Now, we've got a little bit of a wait ahead of us as we have our second army move onto the field and a lot of enemies to work through as we head into the enemy city. As usual, the AI has been deploying a little bit oddly, just mostly around individual supply locations. I think it started doing this in order to essentially react to attacks on different parts of the enemy settlement, as I've been seeing this a lot more with this version of the game. That said, I feel like deploying all the way back at the Victory Plaza seems a little bit far, as it often takes these guys a long time to get to the actual outer walls, and by then we're well into the city. Anyway, oh, did you just fire into this tree? Yeah, it did fire into the tree, and we're going to move that magma cannon so it does so no longer. Obviously, the magma cannons aren't great at knocking things off of walls because the burnination effect doesn't persist on the walls, but that's okay. Just a little bit of damage will be sufficient. We gotta wait until our secondary force arrives, and it is moving on to the field right now, which means we now will have access to 4 flyers, which also means we should be able to clear those walls fairly easily in the same manner as Zhatan has done so many times before, and to a slightly lesser degree Scaff, because well, he's by himself in terms of his air force. Anyway, we're gonna have Gorth the Cruel quick cast a flame storm in this blob of enemies. I mean, if the AI is going to deploy like this, I don't see why we wouldn't cast some spells in the middle. It's made the choice to deploy in such a manner, so it's going to be vulnerable to these vortex spells. And oddly enough, that use of the vortex is not going to kick the anthill, and they are not going to start moving towards us, but oh well, I'm sure that eventually this will. We're on top of the walls now and starting to rip through these thunderers by the looks of it, and we'll be moving on to the other units up here, which include an engineer, as well as, I believe there was a unit of iron drakes with flamethrowers up here as well, yeah. So we'll need to destroy those. Especially since they have flamethrowers, and somehow the Dowie Zharr, the Fire Dwarfs, do not have flamethrowers, at least not units that can use them, which just seems strange. At least get some demonic flamethrowers or something. I guess technically the Demon's Tongue does have a flamethrower, but that is a big old machine. We need more flamethrowers is what I'm getting at, but I guess we can get them from Tzeentch, which is gonna have to happen. Anyway, continuing to absolutely rip apart all these units on top of the walls. The 2 Tauruses are very good at this. That jump animation seems to have failed, but that's okay. It's not like any of this is really going to make much of a difference. We're going to drop a flame and shadow down on the enemy here as well. I don't really feel bad about this, mostly because it's not a single unit distracting the enemy, but essentially a mini Death Star. In the meantime, while all this has been happening, as we can see, the gate is down to about half HP, as we have moved in our 3 Centaur Tauruks, and are about to send in our 2 Skullcrackers as well. This is our Skullcracker army, after all, and I really want to build up an army with at least, I don't know, 6 or so Skullcrackers, just because we can. Or maybe like 3 regular Skullcrackers and 2 Skullcrackers with Dreadquakes or something like that. There's definitely still at least a couple of army types that I still want to build up and try out that we just haven't had a lot of. Anyway, the gate is down, which means the Tauruks are in to help out and swing away at these poor spears. Really shouldn't have joined as auxiliaries in this particular dwarven settlement, and here come the Skullcrackers as well, and I want to definitely see a lot more of these things throughout the campaign. They don't seem to be crazily effective in that they are reasonably fragile, but they're pretty fun to watch. Even just watching them charging in, but yeah. I'm gonna be interested to see how many kills they get. Their charge is pretty strong though. 3,000 damage and 20 kills from the first, though the second one unfortunately didn't take any of the hits there, or didn't take any of the kills really there, as the first one took all the charge hits, but that's okay. We got more units where that came from. Looks like the engineer's down to about half HP, and most of the enemy units here have been cleared, and this is kind of what I was talking about. We can see the units that deployed over at the Victory Plaza moving from there all this way. It's going to take them a while to get there, especially for slower factions like dwarfs. So yeah, maybe they should have deployed closer to the middle of the settlement. Not that it bothers us at all, but it would be better for the AI in order to present some sort of challenge, though I suppose by deploying so far away, at the very least, they are not under threat of getting obliterated by artillery. There we go, Skullcracker's still doing their thing. These miners getting absolutely ripped apart. There's a lot of spiky machinery there. I'd like to build an army with these things and maybe some Doom Wheels from the Skaven if we can get a nice alliance going as well. Alrighty, and well, a unit of spears, anti-large. Let's see how that works out for you. Great job to you, Skullcracker. How are we doing in terms of kills? 48 and 4.3k, not too bad at all. I do imagine the Lords are doing quite a bit better, but that's hardly surprising. Especially since they're a lot more expensive. These guys are just going to smack into each other. Glad there's no melee friendly fire, as these things would have ripped each other apart by now. Alrighty, and here come the bulls, and speaking of bulls, we got the Centaur Renders coming into the city as well, and they're about to enter the foray in fairly large numbers. Weirdly enough, it's been very difficult to kill this Master Engineer. Considering his stats are 45-35, he should have died very quickly, but it looks like the Lords are actually quite poor at killing a target with a low mass like this. What seems to happen is that the giant bulls, the Tauruses, just seem to knock the Engineer around, which gives him an invincible sort of few seconds, which just prevents him from dying altogether. But hopefully with our bull renders in, they can just surround him and kill him, where the Lord and Heroes and the, well, single entities generally have failed to do so. There we go. Astrogoth's bull army may not be ready, but this bull army, or at least half bull army, is certainly good to go. And at least we get to watch these guys enjoy themselves. There we are, and there's still a few more Dwarf Warriors defending, though it looks like not for much longer. Gonna also cast an Ash Storm up here while dropping a few spells, but nothing crazy. Just a little bit of damage, and there is a gyrocopter flying around. We gotta try to catch it with our aerial units, but unfortunately at 105 speed, it is actually faster than anything we have, so unless we can sort of surround it, it's not going to happen, as it will simply skirmish away. Unless skirmish fails, and ooh, hello, we've got some Iron Drakes with Troll Hammer torpedoes firing away at us, together with the Brimstone guns. No, these are the regular gyrocopters, firing away at our Skullcrackers. Definitely have to be careful, as I do imagine the Iron Drakes should be able to bring down a Skullcracker fairly quickly, and ooh, looks like they're damaging Gorth the Cruel quite a bit as well. Alright, moving in some units to help. Guess they wanted that Lamassu off the field. Otherwise, the balance of power is most definitely in our favor at this point, at about, I want to say, 80% or so. There are still a fair few units on the field, including UNGRIM himself, who, for being the Slayer King, is very, very far from the battle. Though I suppose that might be a good thing for us, as he is definitely one of the scarier melee lords, and certainly not to be taken lightly. Alright, we got those giant slayers moving in as well. But they have a lot to contend with here. And just moving into the meat grinder. Granted, every single one of our units here is a large unit, so their anti-large is certainly going to come into play, and the same thing with their death blow, judging by the HP losses there, but nonetheless. Oh man, I kind of like the Skullcracker just straight up on fire like that from the blasting charges there, though I imagine that is doing quite a bit of damage to it. No, it's still got a decent amount of HP at about 60%-ish. Maybe it even likes being on fire, who knows. Alrighty, keep it up everybody, and just out of curiosity at this point, we got 32 kills on this Skullcracker and fairly low damage, 3.2k. This one's doing a little bit better at 57 and 6.3, though, let's see. These guys have been, and the Skullcrackers have been in the battle a lot longer than the Bull Centaurs, and some of the Bull Centaurs are certainly catching up in damage, so it looks like they do have a tendency to outdamage these single entities, though I'm not sure that that's very surprising. Up here we've also got a few of our Lords and Heroes or single entities essentially going after these flame cannons to prevent them from doing too much damage to our units up here, and the rest of our army is also now moving into the settlement. The Infernal Castellans and the blunderbusses are going to take position down below, while all of our pew-pew lasers or fire glaives are going to take the positions and fire from on high, from down on top of those walls, which should be able to knock out any giant slayers or whatnot. Should be fairly effective. And there we go, and as usual, axe on axe action here. I'm sure those giant slayers are feeling a little bit of jealousy at the axes that we have. And we have both the dual axe and the great weapon variety of centaurs here, and there we go, the fire glaives are now firing down as well. Which means these giant slayers' days are very much numbered, and they will be shot in the back and destroyed. I love that sound. Alrighty, there we go. Definitely like a lot of the Chaos Dwarfs sound design. The fire glaives and the Dreadquake mortar in particular. Looks like the giant slayers have managed to knock at least a few of the bull renders down, though most of them are now pretty much dead, and by them I do mean the enemy there. Otherwise, it looks like the other units have managed to centrally move around, led by our bull centaurs. There are a couple of hammerers here to take care of, and we did finally manage to catch that gyrocopter, which is great, because that thing was getting really annoying. Alrighty, let's see what we can do about these hammers, since we've already seen a lot of action against the enemy giant slayers. Yeah, definitely a very bull centaur heavy episode, since we haven't had a lot of these so far. I'm pretty excited about the fact. Just to see more of these guys fight, especially as we will be getting even more action from them as Astrogoth's army gets completed. And here comes another Flame and Shadow to help everybody out. Not such a threat to our own Bull Centaurs, but very much to the enemy Hammers, who are now getting surrounded, especially with a little bit of help from our single entities. Looks like both of the Hammer units are pretty much done. Gorth is actually pretty badly damaged as well now, but that's okay. Looks like we're going to back off a little bit with the Skullcrackers, which are now fairly heavily damaged, but that's just fine, because our Blunderbusses and our Fire Glaives have created a nice little kill zone, kill box, whatever. And we obviously didn't even have to fight the enemy in melee. We could have just done this from the start once we took the walls or once we entered the settlement, but it was fun to watch them do their thing. And those poor giant slayers probably shouldn't have tried to run down this ramp, and the last of them will be gunned down. Well done to the range units. Now let's see what else is left on the field. Well, by the looks of it, the chain route is actually here, and only UNGRIM remains. He does still have to be defeated, though, and that is something of an interesting prospect. Once again, just for fun, while we could have our range units just kill him from range without any kind of threat, as he's too slow to do anything about it, we're instead going to send our Bull Centaur renders and Taurox to fight him in melee, and just to see how long it takes to bring him down. It's probably still quite a bit. He's got that anti-large working for him, a massive amount of armor and attack and buffs. He also even has a potion of healing, so he'll be up for quite the while. 1.1k weapon strength and 92 melee damage, yeah. Alrighty, and a little bit difficult to see in there, but, you know, gotta do what you gotta do. Gonna pop some debuffs on him as well, the Enfeebling Foe, the Withering, and we've also got Sundered Armor on him. And even with all those debuffs, his stats are still crazy. Alright, well, good luck to you, Centaurs. It's UNGRIM versus the world, though I imagine that he's quite used to it in his armies. Alrighty, and it looks like we're gonna get the first of our Bull Centaurs, our Tauruks, out here as it's dropped down to about, I don't know, 25% HP. Another one is at 50%, so yeah, he's clearly dishing it out in here. And that's while being completely surrounded, attacked by 3 heroes, debuffed, and attacked by 2 units of Bull Renders. And yeah, once again, this is certainly favoring him because he's anti-large, but nonetheless. Just out of curiosity, charge defense against large foes, yeah, I want to see weapon strength. His bonus versus large isn't anything crazy. He does have a lot of armor pierce, though. No, to be fair, in their current iteration, the Bull Centaurs aren't all that crazily armored in the first place because we don't yet have the buff for them, but we will shortly. And for whatever reason, the camera doesn't want to get close to the ground here. Is it because of this stupid tree? Well, I guess we'll have to just watch this from this angle. I do wish we could get closer to the ground, and we're gonna move one of the one of the Bale Tauruses in as well to help out. How's UNGRIM looking? He's down to about a third of his HP, finally, and has reached his healing cap, or at the very least we can see his healing cap. The third, or actually the second of the Tauruks has also been sufficiently damaged to have to leave the fight at this point. And man, I should have timed it just to see how long this fight against UNGRIM was taking, but it's certainly UNGRIM versus Centaurs today. Well, lucky he doesn't have too much in the way of regen items, because he could certainly have more than what he has. Though, yep, down to 703 HP now. And will fight to the end as befits a Slayer King. Certainly a worthy send-off for a worthy foe, though I'm sure we'll see him again, as I doubt we can destroy the faction before he revives in 5 to 8 turns. Alright, got a couple more hits in there. Oh, now the camera wants to go down. And all those axes swinging away from every single side. And 51 HP, a couple more hits, and he will finally be done for. Okay, maybe more than a couple more hits. There it is, and it looks like this Bull Centaur managed to get the kill. Ooh. And at that point, it looks like we had one unit of Bull Centaur renders with great weapons, mind you, to penetrate his armor, still fighting, plus Hashat's Steakhouse. The other unit had to be backed off, the other Bull Centaur render, and all 3 Tauruks went from about full HP or close to it to about a third to a quarter remaining. Man, scary, scary lord. A close victory to us, though once again, we didn't have to take the casualties we did, but in the name of fun, 'twas worth it. Alrighty, there we go, and so we have reclaimed the Silver Pinnacle from UNGRIM, who took it from us when we were relatively undefended, or when it was relatively undefended. Damn, what a scary lord UNGRIM is, though, fighting 3 of the Centaur Tauruks with about full HP on all of them, and forcing them all to leave combat, as well as 2 units of Bull Centaur renders, and the Bale Taurus as well, or one of the Bale Tauruses as well. And still it took him absolute ages to go down. Hardly surprising, but damn if it isn't impressive. We did get another brass cleaver for ourselves though, which is always nice. And there's really not much point in sacking, is there? Alright, let's just occupy this tower like so. And there we go. Though we did take a little bit of damage, we should heal up most of it over time fairly quickly. These guys do need to be replaced with high-level ones, though. They probably wouldn't have nearly as much trouble fighting UNGRIM if they were at a decent level. And we are going to go for Masterful Architects here. Huh, I don't even remember. Did UNGRIM take it from us at tier 5? Was it at tier 5 when we just took it? Or was it at a lower tier? I guess it's not super important, but nonetheless. Anyway, with that, after that battle, I do believe we are pretty much out of time, so I am going to have to call it. Next time, we continue into the mountains. There is another full stag belonging to UNGRIM's faction, and frankly, a lot of stuff up here to destroy. It is probably inevitable that the Crooked Moon also declare war on us, so we do have to watch out for that, especially as Karazakarak grows weak. But at the same time, we might be still in the middle of the war over the World's Edge Mountains when the endgame scenario arrives. So we're going to have to be careful with that, and that is why we're fortifying everything to the border of the Darklands and the World's Edge Mountains. Anyway, all that aside, next time it'll be Kugath versus Yobaz Stormbreaker, whether in ambush or not, which should be pretty fun, and then we'll push up northward towards Nagashazar afterwards and start working on whatever we can here. Zhatan will land at the coastline here, at the Crater of the Walking Dead or the Kingdom of Beasts, and start working on the last defenders. So, lots more battles to come. Stay tuned for it. Don't forget to leave a like and comment. All glory to the algorithm. And thanks for watching.